Hello, my name is Teresa Quinn, and I'm a social worker with the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition. And in this communication section of our mental health resource library, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about how to, from the perspective of somebody not experiencing ovarian cancer themselves, so not a survivor, but a friend, a caregiver, a supportive person, how to support that person going through ovarian cancer when it kind of feels like you're not sure what to say or what to offer, what to do. So let's talk a little bit about kind of that dreaded question, the how are you question. So oftentimes when somebody's going through a cancer experience, this question should blanket, how you doing, right? Sometimes can feel helpful, oftentimes can feel really broad, really vague, and not feel so particular. And it kind of feels like there's a lot of things going on, right? Where do I even begin? And so the first kind of tip that I have for you is to be able to really keep a very narrow focus. So for example, one question could be, how are you physically doing today? Right? So it kind of narrows the scope to how are your physical symptoms today, right? Or I know you have a scan coming up next week. How are you feeling emotionally about that? Do you have any anxiety or feelings that it would be helpful to talk through? Right? So we're taking it from that really broad perspective all the way down to a very narrow question. So that way somebody's not kind of reaching for, okay, I've got so much going on, where do I even begin? So that's kind of the first tip, keep a really narrow focus. The second one is when you're offering support, oftentimes offering practical tasks can feel a lot more helpful than a blanket, well, let me know what you need, right? That oftentimes people aren't going to reach out and say, hey, I'm out of toilet paper in my house. I need somebody to go pick that up. Can you do that for me? So offering a practical task like, hey, I'm going to the grocery store this afternoon. Is there anything you're almost out of that I can pick up for you and drop off on your porch? Is a great example. Hey, I'm going to the laundromat. If you have any laundry or you want anything done, leave it outside and I'm happy to grab it before I go at 2 o'clock today, right? Very narrow, but very, very practical that you're things that you're already doing anyway. So it doesn't put it on the survivor to feel like they're adding to that experience for you. And then the last one being, again, in this kind of theme of being very particular, offering just to spend time together that has nothing to do with cancer, right? Saying, hey, a new movie came out on Netflix. Is there a time in the next week or two that I can come over and we can watch it together? I'll bring the popcorn, right? Really particular offerings for support of, hey, can I bring you, your tea from your favorite spot so that way we don't have to go out. We can stay at home if you want, right? And so offering very, very particular, narrow things. A couple of don'ts in general to be able to, as you're supporting, be able to support you as you're supporting survivors. The first don't is don't silver linings it. Anytime you find yourself saying the words at least, cut yourself off right there. Anything that starts with at least, it's probably not going to end so well or make the person experiencing ovarian cancer feel super good, right? And so let's take away the silver linings. Things can be within your own belief system. You may believe for yourself that everything happens for a reason. That you are absolutely allowed to believe that for yourself. It is not helpful or supportive to put that onto somebody else, right? To be able to say to somebody else, especially somebody going through a cancer experience, well, let's look at the bright side. Everything happens for a reason, or this is all in God's plan, right? Again, those are things you're absolutely allowed to believe for your own life experience, but let's not add that to somebody else who may not have that in their belief system. That's the first don't. In kind of line with that, don't compare the experience to anybody else's. So even if you have somebody else in your life who's gone through ovarian cancer, right, you can give a caveat and say, hey, my sister-in-law went through ovarian cancer. Would it be helpful to connect you with her to be able to talk about your treatment? Or I remember when she was going through this, she had this symptom, but then add a follow-up question, right? Is that the case for you? Right? Not assuming that anybody has had the exact same experience and always leading with questions versus, oh, I know exactly what you're going through because, somebody else in my life had a different kind of cancer. And so I get it, right? You don't get it, right? It's their experience. Nobody can fully get somebody else's experience. So ask about it. The next piece is just about continuing to show up, right? So don't stop showing up after the first month. Oftentimes there's kind of this flood of support when a diagnosis comes or when kind of somebody's in the height of treatment. But then 3 months later, all of these folks that were offering support have gone back to their lives. And so if you're really looking to be able to be as supportive as possible, make sure that you're consistently checking in. It doesn't have to be every day for a whole year. It can just be, once a month. Hey, I'm thinking of you. I'm going to the grocery store. Is there anything you need? Things like that, but continue to show up for people because that's oftentimes when they need it the most. And then the last don't expect quick replies, right? No, not putting any sort of expectations around if you send that text and don't hear anything back. It's not a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of the relationship. Experiencing cancer is exhausting, and it's oftentimes going to take a while to get back to you around certain things, and that's okay. So I hope that these were some really helpful practical pieces of advice around some do's, some don'ts as you continue to support folks in your life with ovarian cancer. Continue to check out all the other resources in our mental health resource library that will be helpful for you as a supportive person as well.